is the official flag bearer of the FDC. Aware that the nomination exercise kicks off tomorrow, Tuesday, the 22nd, I'm happy to announce that our candidate met all the requirements, and here is a certificate that was issued yesterday, signed by Justice Byabakama Mugenyi Simon, that has cleared him to be nominated tomorrow at 10 a.m. To be nominated on Wednesday, the 24th at 10 a.m. The official nomination date that was issued by the Electoral Commission for Right Honorable James Nandala Mafabi, the FDC flag bearer, is the 24th of September, Wednesday at 10 a.m. at the designated premises of the Electoral Commission, and thereafter we are having preparations for him to speak to the nation, to our supporters that will be waiting in Nakawa division, specifically in Butabika at they call them Kampala Road grounds, which are in Luzira, not Kampala Road in town, but Kampala Road playground around Butabika in Luzira. That is where our nomination rally is going to take place. And I would appeal to all citizens to come and listen to the message of hope under the theme. Our campaign theme is fixing the economy, money in the pocket. You all know that we have the most competent candidate under the circumstances to fix the financial and economic challenges that is being faced by Uganda and Ugandans. After the nomination rally of the 24th on Wednesday, we shall be unveiling a comprehensive and detailed roadmap that is set to begin on the 29th of September, the official date that the Electoral Commission has designated for us to kickstart the campaign. And these details, we shall be unveiling them as time goes on. But for now, it is official. We are nominating on Wednesday, 24th September at 10 a.m. Thank you, sir. Okay. Yeah. Abannayuganda mwenna nina essanyu ery'okubabuulira nti flag bearer waffe Mwami Nandala Nathan Mafabi yatuusizza ebisaanizo byonna ebyakakiiko k'okulonda bye kaali keetaaga, era ne certificate yagituwadde, emukkiriza okwewandiisa mu butongole nga agenda okwesimbawo ku bw'obukulembeze bw'eggwanga lino ku kifo kya president. Era batuwadde essaawa 4 ku Lwokusatu ennaku z'omwezi nga 24 ez'omwezi guno ogw'omwenda. Era bwe tunaamala okwewandiisa tujja kuba twolekera Luzira mu disitulikiti y'e Nakawa ku kisaawe kye bayita Kampala Road ekiri mu Luzira e Butabika, bwe tugenda okukuba olukiiko olw'abantu bannansi. Omukulembeze waffe wanayogererako n'abantu saawa nga mukaaga awo nga tumaze okuva wagenda okwewandiisa. Ate tukubiriza bannayuganda mujje muwulirize ensonga ey'essuubi gye tuze nayo ng'ekibiina kya Forum for Democratic Change ey'okutereeza ebyensimbi mu ggwanga n'okulaba nti bannayuganda bafuna ensimbi mu nsawo zaabwe. Njagala kubakakasa nti omukulembeze gwe tubawadde okubeera pulezidenti w'eggwanga lino alina obumanyirivu mu bonna abeesimbyewo okutereeza ensonga z'ebyensimbi mu ggwanga, era eyo y'ensonga gye tuyimiriddeko eya fixing the economy, money in the pocket.
Kenyongeraho katono omukulu ng'abalazi certificate ekibagambako wano FDC kibiina ky'amaanyi tokizanyisa. Abaali badongwa na bino ntibasobola okukisaanyaawo, ndowooza kati bakiraba nti n'okufuna signature mu Uganda kyekibiina kyokka ekyafunye signature mu hours. Ate twafunye mu district 9 mulala nga bagamba twakola district 146 amanya gonna ne tugayitamu atwana gatwalayo terinya nali buno electoral commission yaleeti kiwaliyo yateeko ngeno evujjemu kikulaga nti pate yaffe twagizimba ku musingi gwa maanyi era abaali batandise okudduka okugenda awalala ndowooza muleete si byangu nnyo okufuna signature zino. Tubasaba bakomewo eka tutambuze ekibiina kubanga omulimu guno si mwangu. Oli wali balowooza ojja zikolya Kampala Road omalirize oweerezeyo amannya naye kuno babasaze ekikundo batiikinga buli linnya lyebakola ki lyebateeka kuba ddaaja eriri bagenze okutiikinga FDC 100% nga tukola ki nga tugalina. Kikulaga nti ekibiina ekya-FDC kirina omusingi era kyamaanyi. Ekibiina kya-FDC kyamaanyi, bannayuganda tubategeeza kyekibiina kyokka ndowooza kati mukizudde ne bannamawulire abalinamu akatuma. Kino kyekibiina kyokka ekisobola okuyimirirawo ne batugamba nti signature eziriyo zabazisazizaamu olwaleero kyetwali essaawa 4 zokka mu Uganda yonna okuddayo okufuna signature ezo endala egenda. Lwaki? Tulina structures kuki ku ground. Tetwogera byogere practically tukikoze eki. Nze nabagamba nti amu scientist wali kyebayita confirmatory test. Abadde banoonya quality y'ebibiina ndowooza ka confirmatory test mukakoze eki mukalabye nti ekibiina kyokka ekisobola okunoonya signature mu nnaku 3 ekizireeta e Kampala nekituula ku headquarter nekiteekako abaana baazo abayitibwe tulina obungi ne baziyitamu nezigenda mu electoral commission nga ne baba mubi otya tosobola kusiza mu mannya ga FDC. That's FDC gye twakola, FDC gye twazimba. Abaali badongwa nti baagala eveewo ndowooza kati mulaki baali baagala okugjawo era kyali tekisoboka. Basebo ne bannyabo mujje tuwagira FDC tulese ne candidate atali wakwogerera. Candidate wa FDC wakwogerera yeeyogerera ebiwandiika abirina experience agirina buli kimu akirina. Abaagala ebyembeera ebirungi temuddawo kunyumya mboozi. FDC ye pati yasoseera n'okuleeta ki manifesto. Ffe twasookayo amannya gonna nga matuufu ne manifesto eno tugirina tetuli mu bigambo. Manifesto mugiraba tugirina. Omukulu omu ali mu gavumenti ataase nadde okugamba kati tebagenda osigenda bongeza omusaala twakiwandika ddamu. Ndowooza abamu bamusomeddemu damugamba nti genda obyogereko ssebo. FDC yakoze eki yabifulumiza. FDC is an organized party. Party si yakusaaga busaazi eri organized. Tugenda kutandika okulaba kuno tuvudde tujja kwogera ku bantu tetulina budde tugenda kuwulira bannayuganda kyetugenda kukola. Abamu badde bambuuza gundi yayogedde bwati ne bwati nempaka tetulina budde. Fe omuntu yekka gwe tutunuulira kujja NRM buyinza tukole ki. Omulala yenna ne waanayogera ki mbegayidde amawulire temumbuuza nti gundi yayogedde kino ku FDC. Tebalina mugaso gye ndi kaakati. Omugaso gwe ndiko kaakati tugenda mu maaso okukola ki okutunda manifesto eno nakulaba nti NRM tugijja mu buyinza tuyingiremu tuyiteeke mu nkola kyokka. Temumbuuza omulala nti gundi yabagambyeko bwe bati simanyi muli mutya tetulina budde. Yes. As my vice chairman has shown you the certificate which we got from the Electoral Commission. They did not give it us because they like us, but because they had no choice. We fulfilled all the requirements. We had all the signatures from 146 districts. We did not have 100. We had more than 500, 1,000, even some districts. There's even a district which gave us more than 5,000. We got more than 5,000 signatures from Sironko, for example. 5,000 in one district. Because you don't want to go wrong. Even if you cancel 3,000, 2,000, you get to 100 from it. So FDC is a very strong party. It has been on the ground. It is well grounded. Most of you are trying to write us off that maybe some individuals are talking too much. I told you, we receded, we stopped talking, we went on the ground. Now you can see the fruits of going on the ground. Talk less, talk more. We have proved it beyond reasonable doubt, as we say in our sciences. This is a confirmatory test that this is the party to reckon with. A party which has structures. A party which can look for 100 signatures all this in about 4 hours. Even if EC had told us that all these signatures don't qualify, we can get them in 4 hours. What will be remaining? Only transport them to Kampala. Because we have the structures on the ground. The whole country. We got signatures from more than 146 districts. So EC checked up to 98 and they stopped there. There are some districts they didn't even check because we had the required number. So people of Uganda, if this is now ready to start the war, to repatriate this country by going to look for votes, if this is one of the few parties, if not the only party, which has a manifesto already in the public domain. We have a manifesto. So we have resolved from today henceforward, we will not be saying our manifesto. We have no time to talk about others. Even if you talk any nonsense against us, we have no time for you. All the work we have is to go, campaign, win the elections, go into power, and put this manifesto into practice. You have the best country in the world. Because in our candidate, we have someone who is highly qualified in this field of economics, highly experienced, not only Uganda level, but international level. Someone who is consulted the whole world, not Uganda. So we are going to implement this. So we have no time even to reply to other people who wanted us dead, who wished us away. Only a mad person can wish someone who is extremely strong away. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, from that angle. Last week, there was a summit. Some of you were doing a lot of interpretations. The media has been awash that FDC has joined IPOD and what have you. What is touching my bad nerves of late is that we people in Uganda are looking at things in a very, very shallow way. Those people who have been in Uganda since 2006 are aware of one fact, that the idea of IPOD was conceived in 2006 by two parties, Democratic Party and FDC. At first, the idea came from one of our own who was in Scandinavian countries studying. Wandera. He joined hand with the Ondisho of DP and they wrote the first concept for this IPOD idea. The idea was that we opposition parties in Uganda, despite the fact we have differences in our opinions, we should sit down and agree on the basic minimum for the sake of our country. We may disagree on the approach, how we want to develop our country, but we should agree on the basic minimum. And we agree on the table manners in our politics. So the idea was conceived The protocol was written, concept was written, and these opposition parties went outside Uganda to try to solicit for funds to sell this idea to different political parties. When they went to those Scandinavian countries, they were advised that they cannot give us money because the government of the day may think they are sponsoring opposition against government. So they advised those who had the idea, FDC and DP, that they should even include NRM, the governing party. So that governing party, FDC, many people in FDC didn't like that idea. You know, when you have differences, we didn't like that idea, but they explained to us, and we took on the idea that we have to sit together as stakeholders, this country, even NRM included. That's how NRM came in. But the way you talk about these days, you people of the press, it is as if it is FDC and DP and the other parties which are joining iPod. Now, as if NRM is the owner. You people, we are the founders. NRM was not part of the founders. We founded it. But we are forced to include NRM because they are also stakeholders in Uganda. And we agreed that we should have the minimum, all of us. If we are going for elections, we don't want elections without violence. I think it's agreed across the board. Some of you follow this iPod. You know, at one time, when Najjanakumbi was still the IGP, police was mistreating us as FDC then. But he invited Najjanakumbi with the Prime Minister then, Honorable Rugunda. We sat in iPod meetings and we agreed how they should interpret POMA then. Even we agreed how we are going to take POMA back to Parliament and change some laws in POMA. That was the idea of iPod. But of late, all of you are more concerned about that they are going to get money. If this is going to iPod to get money, which I think is beneath our way of looking at things as FDC. The idea was not money. There was no money at all. And we have been doing it without even money. Money came in later. And that was the iPod then. That iPod then was more of a club of people who are willing to work together. But now if you come to iPod today, this is such a different iPod. It is statutory. It has been passed in Parliament. Whether you like it or not, it is in the books of Uganda, the laws of Uganda today. Whether you like it or not. So what do? You have to act without breaking the law until you get the time to change the laws. Like in South Africa, there was apartheid law. If you are within the boundaries of South Africa, you had to obey them whether you like it or not. Until you get the force, like ANC got it, chased out the government, they came into government and took over and they changed those laws. Even during that apartheid period, if you wanted to recall those of you who study history, Mandela took a decision that despite the fact that this man is treating us, the only way we can change without more bloodshed is talk to them. We agree on the basic minimum, then we take over government, we change the laws. Many people who are in the opposition, then even ANC, who are attacking even Mandela. How can you talk to those who are torturing us? But as a leader, he took a risk to talk and thereafter explain to his people that I'm the one who has been in prison. Some of you have been in Zambia, out of prison. He got out of prison and he did not take revenge. Because if Mandela had taken revenge after getting out of prison, South Africa would not have been. So even in Uganda, Parliament and the NRM has been like this. People think they are started today. But Madam Kadaga has been the vice chairperson of NRM. Some of you maybe don't know it, or you have forgotten it. So NRM has the Parliament and whatever has been like this. The same applies today. Onayibanita Mo is the vice chairperson of NRM today. Changing that law when they are still in power is not as easy. So they have to support us to change this law. But before I change it, what should we do so that we get the basic minimum? That's why our leaders elected to go and participate in that meeting. We did not go there for money because, as I told you, the taste of the pudding is the eating. All of you are aware of the formula of dividing that money. Has it changed? It hasn't. It was the formula before we went there, the formula after we went there. Now, people who come around say, the FDC went there because of money. They must have been having something wrong with their heads. Nothing changed as far as money is concerned. But you want other things to change. So don't target to money. That's too much of soft thinking. Soft thinking. We should go hard thinking, as if this would do that. So that again, I mean that iPod, I think I leave it at that. We started it with DP, CP joined in, UPC came in, after NRM came in, GEMA, PPP. The other one, which was more of a club. This new one, the laws have changed. You have to be there until we change it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Uganda mwecho. Wiki iwaddewo olukuŋŋaana olwa iPod. Tuyita summit olwa waggulu. Abakulembeze b'ebibiina babadde ne ba FDC nga mwe bali. Abadde babyogera babibungeesa nga bagamba ebibiina bino byagenzeeyo kubanga byadde byagala ssente, kufuna ssente n'okukolagana n'ena. Ebibiina endowooza za njawulo twe bannayuganda tutandika omulamwa guno omunene gw'okwogeraganya. Si kwegatta naye kwogeraganya ebitukwatako ffenna nti tewalina kubeera mu violence mu elections, twaliwa kubba bululu tubikkiriziganyeko. Abaali balina otuwa ssente batuwa amagezi. Kise kisooka tuwa ssente kubanga bajja kubanga abo wagira ebibiina by'opposition okuwakanya gavumenti eriko ne batuwa amagezi nti ekino baba bagala kikole mu ggwanga kiba kya buvunaanyizibwa n'abali mu gavumenti bennyini babeere nammwe mukkiriziganye ku birina okukola ng'eggwanga ti bino tulina kuyitawo banaye wano bwe bati. Muzungu tukiyita table manners. Kakati we twakomawo wano aba-FDC mu biseera abasinga obungi baali tebaagala NRM kuyingira mu iPod. Naye oluvannyuma batukonvinsinga ne batuwooyawooya ne tugana n'NRM naye ekole ki ejje twogere ng'eggwanga kati. Era bwe mwava ekigambo iPod eri enkadde ne NRM neyingira. Yamujjukira twatandikira NRM nga ne meeting tejja. Bannamuli endowooza mujjamuggyeyo history katejja yajja luvannyuma. Era mukulu Mbabazi n'agamba nti advisor legundi era iPod tezomukijjukira. Naye kati oluvannyuma iPod bayitadde mu tteeka. Bayitadde mu tteeka. Abantu baadde balina endowooza embi bayitadde mu tteeka ndowooza kati ya NRM iPod. NRM iPod tebeerako NRM. Ffe twagitandika ba founder members. Bo batugattako bwegasi. Naye ng'omulamu ogwalimu twogedde tutya tukkiriziganye ku ebyo ebitukwatako ffenna ng'ebibiina. Tutegere politics tunamutambuza tutya mu Uganda kyekyateesawo iPod eno. Naye ennaku ze mubadde mukisaddewo bano bagenze mu iPod kufuna ssente. Kyetusuubira ndowooza kiri wansi nnyo ku ndowooza yaffe ng'abeefuzi. It's too cheap. Era ndowooza mwakirabye practically Katonda yatuyambye naye twavudde Kololo engabana ya ssente yasigadde nga bwe yabadde tunaagenda Kololo. Abadde babibungeesa tebagenze okufuna ssente ndowooza kakati mwedde mumwekka mugende mukyekinge ssente bagenda zigaba batya. Naye twabagambye twagala tubatwaliriza abantu bano ekiri mu tteeka. Tesobola gaana genda mu iPod kubanga ne mu parliament wadde tukkiriziganya ane speaker vice chairperson w'NRM naye ab'opposition bakyagendayo si kubanga baagala nnyo naye n'abagamba kikintu kino tulina okukola tukyusa tutya obukulembeze buno waliwo gwe ng'omukulembeze bwolina okukola byolina okubuulira abantu oluvannyuma osobola kukyusa tteeka ku palamenti eno okuva mu mulembe gwa mukyala Kadaga vice chairperson w'NRM yabadde agikulembera separation of powers bweri mu theory ne practically suubira nti agenda n'agenda akyadde wa NRM vice chairperson n'akoma mu palamenti ng'ali neutral atuuza palamenti okukyusa amateeka si kyangu abayi tebakkiriza tulina bbaka katugakyuse nga tebakyali muki ekyavuddeyo tukyazigabana mu ngeri y'emu tetweyogeddeko n'ekikumi n'eki ali adagamba FDC nti yagezeyo okufuna ssente ndowooza ebigambo birye obudde butuusa obirye otegeere nti byaddeyo mebale nnyo basibo ne bannabo akati ekirala kyenjala okwogerako olwaleero empozi tutandika mu luzungu. The other issue we want to talk about as FDC, externalization of labor and human trafficking. Lately, the country has been awash with media reports following the BBC explosive story on trafficking of our sisters and mothers to Dubai. The documentary titled Death in Dubai uncovered shocking details of Uganda Abe Charles Mwesigwa's alleged involvement in human trafficking and coercing and luring our women in Uganda, United Arab Emirates with promises of legitimate jobs, only to be forced into prostitution and subjected to human rights abuse. We have put there including something which I don't want to read. In my culture, it's not good to read such things, which they are being forced to do, but you know it. Eh? In English, but I am from Uganda, so I have to respect my culture. FDC is concerned that the recent BBC story of the continued trafficking and exploitation of Uganda girls in Arab countries. It is disturbing and unacceptable in this modern age that our daughters and sisters are being sold and treated as commodities. Human trafficking is a grave violation of human rights, and these revelations hold the tragic picture of suffering faced by many Ugandans. No nation that values dignity of its citizens can allow such abuses to continue unchecked. We strongly condemn this inhuman practice and call upon the government of Uganda to act swiftly and decisively. It's the duty of the government of Uganda to protect its citizens at home and abroad. Deeper perspective of labor externalization, we in FDC view it as a necessary economic coping mechanism generating significant remittances and employing hundreds of thousands of Ugandans. But we think it must be done with precision, and Ugandans need to be protected. As FDC, we believe the following must be done: strengthening bilateral agreements. We call upon for negotiating better agreements with host countries to protect Ugandan workers, including minimum pay standards. Many Ugandans have died and have been cheated in these countries like Southern Sudan. We should benchmark from what Kenya does when it signs agreements with countries like Germany, UAE, Qatar, and Italy, opening up job opportunities in sectors like healthcare, engineering, IT, construction, and hospitality. These agreements are designed to protect Kenyan workers and facilitate their skill. We have to regulate also the recruiting agencies. Uganda has about 258 licensed recruitment agents. but tighter monitoring and vetting are needed to curb trafficking. Overseeing recruitment agencies sending Ugandans abroad is vital to shield citizens from exploitation and safeguard their rights. Many Ugandans have been rewarded to countries such as Myanmar, where the rebels ended up recruiting them in their ranks. A good number of them died. Some of them, they had to even negotiate their release to Uganda. Subjecting a fellow Ugandan to lack of jobs in Uganda, you cannot even protect him when he goes out, end up being recruited in those rebel forces of foreign countries where respect for life is not there. So we appeal to government to protect Ugandans here and abroad. Invest in domestic job creation. This is what we are talking about even in our manifesto. How do we invest in job creation? A good number of you read our manifesto and see how we are going to create jobs. If we had jobs in Uganda, nobody would leave his country to go and work in those foreign countries where your safety is not guaranteed. So as a country, we must do all that it takes to create jobs at home. Improve work protections. We have to enhance standards for our migrant workers, including access to justice and complaint mechanism. This can be done through fast-tracking relevant legislations like Employment Amendment Bill and Sexual Offences Bill to address exploitation. In conclusion, the lives of Uganda girls and women must be sacrificed and not be sacrificed in the pursuit of remittances or for promises of employment abroad. We should not send our girls out because for us we get some cash from them and you end up being exploited abroad. Uganda must rise to its responsibility and ensure safety, dignity, and the future of its citizens. Today we handle only ladies, but also men are suffering the same way. Next time we handle men, but we are now following the documentary from the British. So that's our stand. This paper is going to be given to you, and please publicize it as much as you can. Uganda. Ensi yonna yawuniikirira yafuna amawulire bwe yalaba emboozi ku BBC TV y'Ebungereza ng'eraga bannayuganda ng'engeri gye babonyaabonyezebwa mu ggwanga ly'e Dubai. Babajja mu Uganda nga babasuubize kuba emirimu eginaavaamu ssente naye batuuka e Dubai abasinga babateeka mu bwamalaaya n'okukola emirimu emirala ekibaleetera okubonyaabonyezebwa n'okutuusibwako obulabe abantu abo ababatwala ebweru. Kyalabikira munnayuganda omu bamwogerako bamuyita Abbey Charles Mwesigwa nga yeenyigira ennyo muze guno okutwala bamaama baffe ne bannyinaffe e Dubai. Sitole eno yalaga nti eddembe lyabwe lirinyirirwa era neeraga nti tulina okukolawo tulina okukola amangu g'eggwanga okulaba nti bannayuganda bonna abatwalibwa ebweru obulamu bwabwe tebuteekebwa mu katyabaga, nti na bano bonna ababatwala tubateekako amateeka amakakali n'okulaba nti abanoonyereza ku bantu baffe abagenzi ebweru bali batya, baba bakola ki, bakikolako. Tukiraba emirundi mingi nti ng'eggwanga tufunamu ssente nnyingi biliyoni za dola ezisukka mu 9 mu bannaffe bano abakolera ebweru. Naye tetusobola kuwayo bannayuganda bannaffe babonyebonyezebwe bwaffe tufunamu ssente. Eggwanga lyonna mu nsi yonna likakatibwako obuvunaanyizibwa okulaba nti buli munnayuganda yenna ali mu Uganda n'ali ebweru obulamu bwe tebutuusibwako mutawaana gwonna. Ne mu Uganda tubadde nga abakireesa abatakifuddeeko, tusaba gavumenti bino ebiri wammanga ebiteeke mu nkola. Gavumenti tugisaba etandike okuteesa ne gavumenti ziyenda abannaffe gye bagenda okukola. Babenga bagendayo nga gavumenti zikkiriziganyizza mwetaaga abakozi bameka, tugenda baweereza bwe bati, bagenda kubeera batya. Gavumenti eneebalabirira eya Uganda, gavumenti eneeyeerya eyambako eti ya Uganda okulabirira abantu baayo. Kino ekintu siga nti ffe tujjo kiyiiya Kenya ebadde ekikola yetwala abantu baayo ngesayininga endagaano n'abantu abeeri ekyokulabirako ki Southern Sudan so na Uganda buli omu agendeyo ku lulwe ova abannayuganda balinnya abafiidde Southern Sudan so nga ate bannakenya batono abakoze ki abafiiddeyo ate nga basinga okufuna bizinesi zirimu ssente bannakenya bazikola Kenya yo yakolagana nani ne gavumenti naffe wano tume kirekera abantu bano bokka abafunamu ssente okutwala abantu ebweru ne gavumenti ekiyingiremu okuba nti bano abantu baffe bagenda ebweru basobola okubeera ebweru bakola emirimu egivaamu ssente bana naffe foreign exchange tumwetaaga nabo bamwetaaga bagenzeeyo naye ate obulamu bwabwe tusinga okwetaaga babe nga tebabufiirwa ekirala kampani zino zonna zitwala abantu ebweru balina okulaba nti bazitunuulira zitwale abantu mu nsi etali buvuyo mwakiwulyako emabega wali bannayuganda bannaffe babatwala okukola eyo mu nsi ez'ebweru naye batuusiza Myanmar waliwo olutalo olugenda mu maaso olwabayikira ne gavumenti abantu abagenda okukola emirimu besanga ate babatutte mu buyeekera obw'Emyanmar ate bakuba kyasi Emyanmar bannayuganda n'ensi tebagimanyi bebalwanya tebabimanyi naye kati tokyalinawo otolekera kudda baganda baffe abamu bakomawo naye abasinga obungi bakola ki bafiirayo tetuyinza kukkiriza nsi yaffe kugenda bweti maaso bannayuganda bannaffe bafa kuba abanoonya ekyokukola ki ekyokukola ate kati nga ffe FDC tulowooza nti ate ekiyinza okumalayo bino byonna okusinga kuba nti tukola ebintu ebinaavaamu emirimu bannayuganda baffe bakola babe nga talina nakimutwala bweru kukola ki kunoonya mirimu gavumenti erina okuteeka ssente nnyingi nnyo ku bintu ebintu ebiyamba okukola emirimu kyova lwaffe nga FDC tulina manifesto yaffe eno twabitaddemu byonna tugenda kukola tutya okulabira bannayuganda tuteekawo emirimu emipya okoze factory mmeka tusaddemu abaana baffe bameka tugenda bikola manifesto eno mu ebiri si byakwogerera bwogerezi twabitadde mu buwandiike era endagaano gye tugenda okukola ne bannayuganda tuleete emirimu mingi nnyo mu Uganda oli agenda ebweru ng'ayagadde bwakazigenda bweru naye nga tusigamba nti alina kyakukola ki kyakulya nakunywa nga bwe kiri kaakati okusaawa eno naye ekirala amateeka gano tulina okulaba nti kati getwalibwa mu palamenti twongere okukyusibwamu nti omukozi waffe tumuyambe tutya okuba nga akola ki nga afuna empeera ye bulungi asobola okubako wagenda n'afuna justice ng'asobola n'okugenda neyerwanako baba muyisiza bubi n'awaabira omuntu amateeka gano manafu mu ekitundu beetaaga kugondagonna tugatereeze webalinyi basebo ne banyamu naye badde nsaba abaami tujja boogeraku mulundi okujja kuba tubadde kwakyalo olwaleero kubanga kyekyabadde mu documentary eyo naye ate abasajja babonaabona nnyo lwakuba basinga mu tebabiyogera naye omusajja oswala nnyo okugamba nti bakozeeko ebikolobero ng'okomyewo otya n'abaana b'okuwulira tebakozeeko ebikolobero naye babakolako ebikolobero bingi nnyo nga bali ebweru wano we tuli nina omukyalo ono abala jabbalaga olulala njagala obbalaga olulala janguwa omukyalo ono bamuyita Nalumansi Nansubuga kandidate waffe FDC owa Mukono district bali ensaawa eyanjula kuli abantu bano dashiikemu yokoyogereko nabo mu luzungu lwetwali tukola era ndooza tukikoze mu luzungu katono ne mu Luganda katono ndooza Oluganda lulina olumanyi n'olufunga
Victory Nalumansi Nansubuga. I did journalism and communication from Makerere University. I'm the flag bearer of this My Might party. You should clap for that. I won't talk much since my manifesto has it all. And I'll make sure 70% of my Mukono people get a copy of this. And I'm sure they won't make any error in these forthcoming elections. Erinnya Nalumansi Victory Nansubuga, nakola journalism and communication oba amawulire n'ebyempuliziganya mu ssettendekero Makerere. Sijja kwogera bingi kubanga manifesto yange ebyogerako byonna benandisuubiza bannamukono byonna ekola ki ate nga nja making sure nga 7 ku 10 ku bantu bannamukono bafunayo kopi kubanga teri muntu ayinza soma manifesto eno n'akola era mu kulonda okujja era nammwe nsaba mufuneyo kopi temukola ki temukola era nga mukono abantu b'emukono mbasuubiza nti tujja kutumbula abakyala abavubuka abakadde nze bataata sijja kubeerabira yadde bagambye leero lwabakyala abaami sijja kubeerabira ti ebizibu ebitunyiga byonna byanfuna si bwe kiri ate FDC ekyalina best oba world's economist that is my president Nathan Nandala Mafabi nja kugonza ebizibu bya mukono ebyenfuna nga nkolagana wamu ne president wange kubanga yakuguka mu byenfuna nze nakuguka mu byamawulire nja gonjoola ebyempuliziganya ne bannamukono male mbireetere kabejja mu byenfuna ye president wange yanziza nnyo yange
oyo ndowooza omukyafu mulabe w'emukono agenda okujja emikono kadi ya FDC era ndowooza mulaba munnammwe bwe mutampromotinge temunnenyanga enyawo
One is about the iPod. If you remember very well, FDC has been missing iPod for a number of years. Yeah. You had your issues saying some of the issues you were raising is that most of the things you look in iPod are not looking your best. And you would always say that iPod has become like a photo shoot, you both go to 7 and so on. Yeah. What has changed on the issues that you were missing? Why you have been missing iPod? What has changed?
Let me first answer that. Because I'm getting old, I have to answer one by one. FDC has never boycotted iPod. FDC boycotted the summit. We are participating in all other activities of iPod. Then we boycotted the summit because it had become a joke. But as I informed you here, that was a club of the willing then. Today, we wanted to give it a test that this statutory iPod, we go there and attend because it has just started. We test them whether they are going to implement what we have discussed, and then we see what to do next. So it would have been dangerous for us to presuppose that this iPod here cannot do anything. We gave them time. We have been there for the first time. If we find out that what we discussed cannot be implemented, then we come and tell the world we are wasting time with this iPod. We boycotted the other one because we had tested them with many things and we are not implementing them. So this time, this is a statutory one, which is by law. We must be there, but we are testing them to see whether they will implement what we have discussed. Otherwise, if you had boycotted, they would have told you, no, but this one is a new one. Why did you come? Now, we have cut them off from their talk, which should have said in future.
My next question is about recently when one was addressing the journalists, saying that the political parties are in two camps. It's FDC, UPC, DP, and NRM with PLOU, that you're in talks on transition. And you went ahead and said that the ballot will not lead transition. As FDC, I want to get it from you. Is it true you're in talks? And if yes, and you already know that transition will not be by ballot, why are you in this?
I had elected not to answer such questions, but because you are a lady, I have to answer yes. But there's one fact. We are not in talks with the government on transition. I talk with authority because I'm the spokesperson of the party. And nobody has the right in Uganda to speak for me, to speak for FDC except me or my party president. Nobody else in Uganda is allowed to talk for FDC. Whatever Mr. Mao said, that's his opinion. And as FDC, we elected to only constitute on NRA. because they are the people who want to get out of power. Whatever Mr. Mao says or any other person, that's their business. They are free to say anything. We are not concerned. We're only concerned about removing NRM from power. Full stop. So whatever Mr. Mao said, maybe that's his interpretation. I don't need to answer that. If it is NRM saying anything, ask me, I will answer. But Mr. Mao, no. Let him be. I respect him as a leader of another party. But as far as FDC is concerned, you people of Uganda ask Chikonyogo John and ask Patrick Amuriat, the official spokespersons of FDC. And my word is final. Nobody can change it. We're not in talks. We're not about to be in talks. And I don't think we'll be in talks before the elections early next year. For us, we are in campaign, and our candidate is going to be nominated this week on Wednesday. And he's the best candidate of all the candidates. Eh? Eh? Kakati kyenjagaza kubategeeza ku ssaawa eno FDC nga party njogeranga Kikonyogo John spokesperson w'ekibiina constitution gwe yawa obuyinza okwogera ekibiina tuli babiri abakkirizibwa mu Uganda okwogera FDC abasembayo Kikonyogo John ne party president abala bonna tembajjako hadiisi mugijje ku nze tetuli mu nteeseganya yonna ku ssaawa eno tetunazitandika sinanaziwulyako nti enkya gyeziri okutuuka mu January okulonda omuntu yenna aba ayogedde ebintu bye tumusaamu ekitiibwa okwogera byonna byayagala naye si bye byaffe nawe nabagambye fe amaaso tuka tunuuliza NRM si muntu mulala yenna tukola nga Maradona banga agenda okuteeba anomuba akalipo takutunuulya asooka kuteeba ki goolo kati tulina budde bwakwogera na muntu mulala yenna kumwogerako alina obuyinza okwogera byayagala naye nze mbabuulidde amazima agakola ki agasembayo tetulina nteeseganya ku ssaawa eno.
Mine is about, you miss people who left this. Why do you keep begging them?
I'm not begging anybody, but as a party, it's our prime duty to make sure we go and beg all Ugandans to join FDC. We started this party to look for support from Ugandans so that we put all our ideas into practice. So even if it is the vice president of NRM today, Arupo, and I can get her into FDC, I will go and kneel down to make her come to FDC. That's our duty. We want the numbers, please. You cannot win without numbers, practically and theoretically. So we beg everybody to come back. Not because we are missing those who went away in particular. Now they are part of the rest of Ugandans who are not in FDC. Eh? Some of you thought at one stage, maybe they are extraordinarily important. But as I told you, the taste of the pudding has shown you that those who left us are not doing any better than us. It's very difficult for them to even present presidential candidates today. Even those who have been there longer, I doubt whether they will get the signatures to present their candidates in these next elections. So we are not missing them so badly, but we want the numbers, we want the votes. We don't want them in our leadership because our leadership is very able now. Collecting signatures in 1 week and taking them there, you must be having a party with structures to do it. Not any Tom, Dick, and Harry can do it. So our brothers who left us, go and ask them whether they can present a candidate today with 9,000 signatures. Yes,
I want some more clarification
yes.
on ICOT because the institutional minister has never been out.
Yes.
And we've discussed at several occasions to issue the statutory instruments
of the law, because the law, before coming to force, there must be statutory instruments, a framework that's going to guide on how the law is going to be implemented. And this seems not to be available. But from the talks you had at the summit, it seems the law is already in effect. How is the law going to be implemented? Did he present to you the framework of guiding the new amendments?
I've not officially been informed of what went on in that meeting, because I'm going to meet the president after here. But I gather that's one of the issues that they advised the minister to complete the process as soon as possible, to do all the necessary laws, present them to Parliament, and then they actualize what is going on in what they are supposed to do in IPOD. That's why even this sharing of money could not even be implemented, but they are discussed, because the laws have, the actualization has not been put in law. So Minister Mawe, I think, is going to finalize the process, and then we implement what is in that iPod thing. Tebana kumbulira bulungi nnyo bibatesa mu lukiiko bakama bange, naye kye nawuliddeko nti mukulu Mawe alina okukola okutwala mu Parliament batereeze buli kimu, enkola eggweyo bulungi, tube nga tuteeka etteeka lya iPod mu nkola nga lirina okuteekebwamu. Mukulu Mawe alina okubimaliriza, mwana abimaliriza byonna ajja kuba biteekebwa mu nkola. Era ebimu ku bintu bye bateesezaako mu lukiiko olwo naye ebisingawo sobola kubyogera naye kye baŋŋambye ko bakiteesezaako era ndowooza bagenda kikolako mu bwangu.